Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today we're getting into my first Whiskey Cigar Club of September, which happened this past Tuesday. Now, I'm actually recording this Sunday night. You guys will see this Monday morning if you watch it right away. And I just hosted my second Whiskey Cigar Club earlier today, so probably not the best time to try to reassess stuff, but I haven't drank anything in probably 6-ish hours. It's the middle of the night right now. If you notice, my hands are all jacked up, like both of them. I went on a fishing trip yesterday, and the fish isn't what jacked up my hands. So the captain of the boat also farms oysters. And so I got some oysters, and apparently I thought I could just chuck them with a butter knife, and that was kind of working. 100%. One of the oysters jacked up my hand pretty good. So, even like this one is cut. I don't have a Band-Aid on it. I stabbed myself with a butter knife on this hand multiple times, so I was supposed to wear a glove. Anyways, safety first. I'm not the first kind of guy. Just get this shit done. Second, that's kind of where I went. So anyways, so if my hands look all jacked up, it's because of the oysters. Anyways, what we're getting into today is a blind lineup. So if you're new here, I host a Whiskey Cigar Club every single month. Sometimes I do two, depending on how kind of the voting goes. So it was two smaller Whiskey Cigar Clubs. We did one Tuesday night. We did one earlier today. And we did two completely different lineups, except for one bottle that was unanimously the number one bottle on Tuesday night. I threw it into today's lineup to kind of see how other people thought of it. And it was way more all over the place today. And I kind of expected that, especially with at least one of my guys. The lineup for Tuesday is this. All right, so this is the order that we drank them in on Tuesday's Whiskey Cigar Club. We started off with the Elijah Craig Private Barrel. It's 94 proof, so it's lower proof. I was on that pick. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so then we started with the MB Roland, which is in dark fired corn. That is a very, I would say, controversial bottle. Some people loved it. Some people didn't love it. It came in 10th place with a score of 3.1. This Dream Spirits is a local pick. That came in last place with a 2.76. Very oaky. This Bar Sound, the 13th, came in 9th place with 3.26. And the Bar Sound Ferrand came in 11th place with a score of 3. So the first group came in last place. Now, this isn't how it usually works out, but each group got better. So and you'll see the scores. So the new 2025 Mocha edition of the Lost Recipe series from Maker's Mark came in 8th with a 3.32. The new Cellar Age actually did pretty well, and it did well for me. I was not a fan of the first two releases, but I do enjoy this one. So I'll compare it versus last year's. And that came in 6th place with 3.41. The Shortbarrel Cigar Batch Gauge 36 came in 5th place with 3.48. The Green River, this is the decanter bottle that I got at the distillery, or tasting room, I guess. 3.39, 7th place. And then these four came in your first 4 spots. So the Cedar Ridge Pour Decisions, that came in 4th place with a 3.52. The Stranahan's blew out everything. This bottle is crazy. Scored first place, scored a 4.28, and that was the first place for every single person, which has never happened before. The new Burker's Reserve Tequila finish came in 3rd place with 3.68. We have one buddy that puts Booker's over the top all the time, so of course it's going to get a high score. And then the new Elijah Craig B525 scored 3.9 in 2nd place. So that was, we're going to review today the Elijah Craig, the Booker's Tequila, the Cedar Ridge. I'm going to say the Stranahan's because it's so different. I might compare it to the Milestone 2. I am supposed to be getting the Milestone 3, so maybe I'll do all 3. I don't know. And then in 5th place was the Short Barrel, so we'll put the Short Barrel in today's video. All right, so that was the lineup, how we drank them on Tuesday. So I'll do another video on today's lineup, which similar type stuff, like nothing too crazy. I guess maybe the Cellar Age on Tuesdays was a crazier bottle, but came in 6th place. Now, I will say, the Cellar Age, this year's Cellar Age, was my favorite out of the 3. And I'm sure people like other one batches better. I was not the biggest fan of the 2024 or the 2023, to the point that I sold away my 2023 like half open. But because it didn't make it my top 4, I will compare this year's blind versus 2024 because I still have that. I'm going to guess that 2025 is going to blow it out, but we'll see. But let's get into today's blind. All right, so we got them poured out. They're blind. The Booker's and Elijah Craig are obviously legacy distilleries, and the Cedar Ridge and the Short Barrel are craft distilleries. So we got that kind of competition going on right now, which is kind of cool, kind of see how that goes. I do have New Glencairns. They're blue. I don't know how good they are on the camera, but they're glowing in real life. And I basically bought New Glencairns because I broke my clear Glencairn that was labeled B. And so I'm like, well, I gotta get New Glencairns anyway. So I wanted to set the blue ones because I think I was hoping that they're gonna look nice. They look amazing. So now I have the clear, the blues, and the black. And then I asked my friends if they wanted any Glencairns. They're not that cheap. Basically $35, and I think that is expensive for Glencairns. But, you know, my friends got a bunch, so I'm happy they got them. I got a couple extra if anyone wants any. The $35. I got blue, black, and clear. They won't have the letters, but email the description if you want any. So let's get into the nose. Okay, so A on the nose is like peanut butter on apples. It was very apple forward. There's peanut butter there, kind of malty. This reminds me of a Scotch 100% with the peanut butter note. The peanut butter note I don't get too much on like Scotches, on single malts, but the apple I do, and I definitely got some kind of like maltiness. So that's very interesting. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it's not something I was expecting out of the 4 out here. I don't know. These things are all over the place. Like, there's only one, like, straight up bourbon. That's Elijah Craig. I don't know what Cedar Ridge says, straight bourbon. It's a private select. I'm just looking at the Cedar Ridge, just kind of see if it, like, the mash bill had a bunch of malt in it. This might be cheating. I don't care. But it's 74% corn, 14% rye, and 12% two-row malted barley. Not sure what two-row malted barley means, but I've never seen the two-row part. But like the cigar batch is finished. The Booker's is finished. Yeah, it's malty to me. Anyways, let's go to B. All right, B was something. It was like so bizarro world. So it was vanilla, funky, grassy, butter popcorn, and sour. These notes are all over the place, and I was nosing. I was like, I don't know if I like this. If it's just interesting, yeah, I don't. It's the grassy. I think is the most intense out of it. I keep going. Like it's like a hay note. Definitely like a hay note. All right, so let's go to C. Okay, so C is your prototypical bourbon notes. Nothing crazy like A and B. It's oak, peanut, vanilla, caramel, straight down the middle, your quintessential bourbon. I like it. It's a very good nose. It's not outside the box of your bourbon notes. Okay, so let's go to D. Okay, so D is very similar to how C is, where it's your prototypical bourbon notes. It's more peanutty. I don't know if it's more peanutty. It is very peanut forward though. C is more vanilla forward and D is more peanut forward. So I wrote peanut, caramel, oak. I did get some like butter popcorn note. I don't know if that's really outside of the regular things because corn is so heavy in a lot of these mash bill. Well, it has to be at least 51% corn anyways, but they're usually much higher, 70%. I'm pretty sure like any kind of corn note is kind of like quintessential to me, but it's very peanut forward on D. Let's go back real quick. Man, this, if someone told me this is like a Frey Ranch with like that hay note, that like very grain forward. I'm not saying it's grain forward. It's just more crafty for sure on B. Man, A is so like appley. I also get mashed banana. Now, I don't know how that's different than regular banana. Don't ask me. I was like, I wrote banana, and then I'm like, it's not really a banana. It's like almost like a wet banana. And my head said, what is a wet banana? And it wrote mashed banana. Dude, I don't know. Don't ask me. That's my brain. But that is like a ripe banana also. Okay, so the noses are C and D are very similar. These two are very outside of the box. Let's get into the palate. The nose transfers to the palate, which if you've been around for a little bit, that's hit or miss for me. But man, green apple. So on the nose, that's just an apple. Green apple on the palate blew out the palate on the green apple. We'll see how the second sip kind of goes, but the finish, red apple, pear, green apple again, green Jolly Rancher, which is the green apple but like sweeter, and banana. It's very fruit forward in a good way. But it's not your prototypical bourbon. That's for sure. Like I'm not getting like the oaks or caramels or vanillas, any kind of nuttiness. It's very if I was drinking like a scotch that's not peaty, like a Highland Scotch, like a Macallan or something like that, and this would kind of be like that kind of direction where it's like very fruit forward. So I was looking at my notes and it said peanut butter for the nose. So I was like, oh, too bad I'm not getting this peanut butter on the palate because like I love eating a peanut butter, like peanut butter on an apple. Like it's a good little snack. It's nutritious, right? I don't know. In my head, apple peanut butter's gotta be nutritious. But there's definitely some kind of like backbone to this that isn't just fruit. It's not oak, it's not spice. Trying to see if it was kind of like a nutty little note, but I can't figure that part out. I did write dark fruit on the palate this time. Kind of like a raisiny note. That's different than what I'm considering like the backbone part. And on the nose, I wrote malty. Again, that whole like single malt concept. Definitely outside your regular bourbon notes. And I like it. It's good. I don't know what I scored this all day. Because again, these are the top four out of 5 for my group. So they're not necessarily my top 4. I'm not 100% sure if this is the backbone note I'm talking about, but I got a little bit of a coffee note and some spice on the finish. The coffee note is more on the palate. That might be like the background note that I'm getting. Either way, I really enjoy this. So it's a very apple forward to me, very like green apple, pear. There's definitely some sweetness. That's why I said a green Jolly Rancher. Good amount of banana and some spice notes. Man, it's something. I'll tell you that. It's something. So let's go to B. Okay, so first sip, definitely different than A. A is probably gonna be the outlier, especially based off the nose on C and D already. But B, red fruit, sweet, vanilla, oak on the finish. Like a dusty peanut. Like, as I'm saying this, I understand what you're probably thinking in your head. What the heck is a dusty peanut? I don't know, man. I just write shit down that my brain tells me to write down. It's not a fresh peanut. It's like an older peanut. Not a bad peanut, it's just dustier. I don't know. Cherry, red fruit, hazelnut. Very good. Again, these are some of the best out of the day, and there was really not too many bad bottles out of those 12. All right, similar to the first sip, except this time I got more of that hay notes I get on the nose. Because I was like, oh, a lot of these nosing notes that I was getting aren't really transferring to the palate like A did. And then the hay note kind of showed up. And the hay note, it's not something that's off-putting to me. It's just, I 100% can see how that could be off-putting for a good amount of you. That's why it's not that you should like what I like. I just go off of what I perceive these notes, and hopefully you can be like, I don't like that note if I was getting that, or that's kind of something that I like. And then you try and like, yeah, I get the same similar notes, because everyone's got their own palates. We're all different people. And like some of my best friends, we don't like the same stuff. And like my buddy Gabe, I knew when we had a unanimous decision that the Stranahan's 12-year was the victor on this lineup that we're going over, I knew when I put it into today's lineup that he was not going to like it, because he's always the person that's always off on things. And guess what? That was not his favorite. And he actually likes single malts. He's a big Scotch guy like I am. I was kind of shocked that it wasn't his favorite, but I just based on past experiences, kind of saw that one coming a mile away. Anyways, the hay note. So I went a little tangent there. Sorry, try not to do that. But the hay note it's not really a youthful note. It's not grainy. It's just like farmy, and that could definitely be off-putting for people. So I don't know. It's okay for me. It's not. It's just a unique note. On the third sip of Glass B, definitely something that would have to be kind of in mood part. It 100% reminds me of Frey Ranch back in the day, when I feel like Frey Ranch is kind of like going down a little bit in quality. Hot take, apparently. I feel like I'm not the only one that thinks that, but people gotta tell the truth. I feel like Frey Ranch was so good a couple years ago, and there's something go off right now. But the Frey Ranch that I used to love, the Glass B kind of reminds me of that, where it kind of shows me that farmy notes, but around good sweetness and a good backbone. And I feel like that's what B is. So let's go to C. So C is way more of your prototypical bourbon notes. Your vanilla, oak, caramel, nutty, cherry. On the finish, red fruit, oak, spice, green apple. Green apple. Interesting how I got a lot of it on C. That's not a note I usually get that often in bourbons, and I got it twice today. A lot of the same notes on the second sip, and that green apple note is basically like the lingering note, but it has so much of that nuttiness with it that it is kind of like that peanut butter on apple note that I was kind of hoping for on A. I really like C. Whew, scoring is going to be tough on this. This is going to be difficult. Okay, one more sip on C. That's freaking good. It's low proofy. It drinks a little hot. And I think the hottest one up here is 126. What's this one? 123. So the Elijah Craig is the hottest one up here. I guess I would say this probably drinks like 130-ish. There's definitely a good amount of spice, even after the third sip. But the finish got more vanilla. Man, it is good. That apple note with the nuttiness, the vanilla, the oak. It's good. I really, really enjoy C. Kind of like your prototypical bourbon, but that green apple note gives it a good fruit to like swirl it all around. I don't know. I do like C. C almost sound. Oh gosh, my brain can handle this. What I was thinking. It almost tastes like a healthy bourbon because of that green apple note. You know what? I'm trying to slim down. I'm just gonna drink C. Oh wow. Okay, let's go to D. Okay, D on the palate. Red apple, oak, sweet, nutty, peanut. Specifically peanut on the nuttiness. On the finish, very similar notes. Actually, when I went to the finish, it like died off right away. Then it kind of came back, like it was building back. There was a lot of similar notes with some cinnamon. Yep, some cinnamon. Good. I almost wonder if the peanut's too strong. Let's go to the second sip and find out together. I don't know if I love this. So I wrote spice on the finish. This drink a little proofy. Again, these are all higher proof stuff anyways. There's something here. Now a couple of these are finished, and I kind of wonder if this is the Booker's with the tequila finish. Because I feel like the tequila finish is what I'm picking up on here. That's not my favorite. It's kind of like a herbal note. Herbal. You tell me how you say it. And I don't know if it's my favorite. It's not bad by any means, but not my favorite either. But I think I got one more sip. Yeah, I like the palate a lot. So I wrote down vanilla and cherry. So the palate itself is complex, is good, it gives you a lot of good stuff. The finish though is where it gets like very spice forward. Like I don't know if it's spice or proof, but kind of lights up your tongue. Lights up my tongue. It doesn't give you too much after that, and there's just some kind of note that's there that I'm not the biggest fan of. Overall, it's still good, but I don't know, maybe I don't know. I think going through this way, I like C the most. So I'll pause it here. I'll go back and forth to try to figure out what these scores are, because these are all over the place. So it's going to be a little bit hard for me. But I'll try to come back and figure out what I actually like the best. Be right back. All right, that was very hard to do. But let's do the giveaway. So if you want to enter to win 2-ounce samples of all 4 of these bottles, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with the hashtag top41. So TOP, the number 4, the number 1. Because there's going to be another top 4 video probably like the next week based off of the Whiskey Cigar Club earlier today. All right, so let's get into this. So did I write any new notes? I don't think I wrote any notes. I was going back and forth, trying to figure out what I was enjoying more today. And none of these are losers. I enjoyed all of these. We'll go with last place. The last place was a Cedar Ridge. This is a Poor Decisions pick, age 5 years. I really enjoy this. I scored a 3.3. So that's, again, if you're new here, 1 through 5, 3 is the middle, 5 is the best, 1's the lowest. I have scored things under a 1. That's Sir Davis. I think I might have been something else, but anyways. It was just very fruit forward, and that's fine, but that's not what I'm feeling like I want today. And this is definitely like a mood pour type situation where if you want that fruity, I'm telling you, malty to me, I'd compare this to a lot of like malty scotches that are fruit forward. That is very unique for sure. And I liked it. 3.3 just came in last place out of this lineup. So then we go into third place, and that would be, yep, okay. It's very close. So close, I couldn't even figure out my own handwriting. So the Booker's Reserve, the new one, 2025, tequila finish, 8 years, 10 months, 11 days, 123.3 proof. And I scored this a 3.45. I really enjoy it. However, the Booker's Reserve last year was one of my whiskeys of the year. I don't think this is going to make it into my best whiskey of the year. Now, will it compete in the finished category? Maybe. We'll see. I've kind of looked at the scores and stuff like that. I do want to do because this is a year of tequila finished bourbons and stuff. Tequila finishes is all over the place. So I maybe do a video on just tequila finish stuff and kind of see where it falls against other similar things. So I'll probably do that maybe like a couple weeks, a month or so. So many videos to do. I'm so behind. 3.45, barely beating it, was the short barrel. This is the cigar batch short barrel. This is gauge 36, right? Yep, 36, 114 proof. Now, I picked this up at a store in Kentucky randomly, 3.5. And I know it's got that hay note, which it can be off-putting for people, but it is just a balance of a lot of different flavors that I enjoy. And that hay note, I do enjoy that. It's just complex. I like it. I had it with a cigar earlier today. Literally, this is already like half gone almost. This is almost half gone too. So, you know, these are all like fresh cracks this week. You know, we bring stuff downstairs or outside, we smoke cigars, and, you know, people tend to gravitate to certain bottles. This is pretty good with a cigar because I had it multiple times this week. So my winner, which is kind of shocking to me, is Elijah Craig B525, the newest one. I scored at 3.8. So to me, it surpassed all three of these bottles by good enough margin, like a decent margin. So 11 years, 6 months, 126.2 proof. So it's getting back at that age that, you know, these used to be 12 years old and they took that shit away and now they're giving us stuff lower than that. Except for one, I think since they did that, the only time they got over 12 years was everyone's favorite, which was the C923. Have they gone over 12 years besides that one bottle since they took away the 12-year age statement? I don't think so. I think this is the closest one. They've gone way lower, and the proof has gone lower. Anyways, Elijah Craig, if you're watching this video, if you're going to pull out bottles that are underage, under proof, just do one release a year, because I'm not seeing this shit on shelves anymore like I used to. We haven't even seen a larceny batch this year in Connecticut, A or B, and we should be getting C already. It's already September. So fix yourselves and just put out one release a year that's phenomenal, and don't do 3 releases a year. Just put all your barrels into one, flood the market so everyone can get one, and they're actually good. And we're all talking about your yearly releases that you have a lot of, that people are flipping on secondary because there's a bunch out in the market and they're good. Like Elijah Craig barrel proofs were one of my favorite bottles like 4, 5, 6 years ago. Those are one of the bottles that, like, when I saw on the shelf, I bought it because I knew I was going to love it. And now the past couple of years, it's been very hit or miss. Mainly misses. But I do enjoy this one. I will say that the B525, I really enjoy this one. Especially compared to the A batch. We'll see how the C batch turns out. You know, I'll probably get in December how shit is hitting the shelves. Like, we just got the B batch like this month. So let me know if you've had any of these 4 bottles. Comments. Obviously, you guys are gonna be in the giveaways anyway, so there'll be a lot of comments on this video. Don't do that stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.